Welcome to a video on doing a band repair and preparation. For this SKMEI 1220, it costs $13.76. It's an analog watch on top, digital on the bottom. You can get it on the SKMEI Watch Store for $13.76 plus tax, 14 something and free shipping. It is a great watch. Stainless steel band, digital readout at the bottom gives you time or date, day. Very nice looking watch. Now, I have that watch right here, and we're going to be working on the band. A couple of things. We're going to smooth the edges here, and then we're going to size it properly with these little holes here and maybe removing links. I have my tools. I'm ready to do the job in the basement. I'm going to put this on hold and take you down to the workroom. Alright, let's see here. Okay, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing this full face protection. I'm going to be using a grinding tool, a Dremel with a stone on it. Occasionally the stones disintegrate and throw shit everywhere. I'm just being careful. And down here, I'll crank you guys up a little bit in height and get a little better look at what's going on. I do have a small vise if I need it. I don't think I will. I might to remove the pins. The two tools I have are, this little tool removes watch bands and puts them on, and this is a pounding tool to take out the little pins on the sides if I have to. Okay, well, the first order of business here is to grind the inside edges that touch the skin. They're too sharp. That'll be done in a two-stage process. Number one, I'm going to use the stone Dremel. Then I'm going to use compound. I'll have to go get some compound. This is Mother's Megan aluminum polish. This is what I'll use with this attachment to the Dremel for polishing. Now, when you go to work on one of these bands, you got to keep grinding until that edge is tolerable, and that takes longer than you might think. It's not so easy. So the tough part, of course, is the stone. You grab it in your hand. You have to do it for longer than you think you should have to. You're really taking off a lot of material to get it really smooth like a custom watch would be. So I'll go back again and make sure that I've got it. Then you touch it with your hand and see, is it smooth? And it is. You don't want to do this with it on the watch because it can throw the tool right into the watch because it's grippy. And now you can see why I wear the gloves. Hard to hold on to this. And I come back again, and I repeat the process again. Now, you feel it with your hands and make sure it's smooth enough, and it's not up there. This one. Better. Now the other side. You can see it's hard to catch that upper part. I had to use the tool at this angle. But if the stone were to disintegrate, or the band were to break, it's not going to hurt my face or my eyes. You always want to be very cautious when you're doing this kind of work. Don't take anything for granted. And assume you will get hurt. Don't assume you're not going to get hurt. I'm feeling, is it sharp anywhere? Might it bother my arm? That section is not proper yet. It has to have very much a rounded shape at that edge. Okay. That's process number one. Process number two. Take the stone off and we put the polisher on. Okay. You take this like this. You put it in the polishing compound, and then you turn it on in the jar so the shit goes all over the jar. Otherwise, it'll go all over you. So I'd like to have a little bit more goop in there. I can push it in with my fingertips. Now I'm ready to start working the unit. Okay? Same areas, but now I'm polishing. Repeat. Fine. Fresh material, fresh goop. If you push it in with your hand, you may not have to do it that way. Okay, now I come in, I'm going to catch the other side, okay? Double time, coming back second time. Okay, fine. Come in, more goop. In the hand, spin it clean. Okay, now we come up and do this one. Okay, fourth one. The band will get hot when you do this. To make sure the clasp doesn't have anything that's going to cut. I don't think it does. Okay. Now, what we can do now is what we've done is to polish the inside edge, not the outside edge, the inside edge that touches the arm. Now we're going to go upstairs and we're going to thoroughly clean it because it stinks. Okay, now we have to clean this crud off of here, and to do that we're going to use a little scrub brush and some dish soap. I'll put it up here. I want to give it a thorough cleaning. Okay. Now it's the other side's turn. This is very important. If you don't do this, your watch will stink of that chemical polishing compound for a long time. And you really have to clean it thoroughly, like I'm doing. Okay. Now I rinse. Now I start all over again and clean both sides again. Trying to work both sides. Any area where it may have picked up some of that shit. Okay, clean off your unit, your washer, your tooling, come here, wash this off like this. It's pretty warm water, it's pretty hot, it's not scalding, but it's hot. And it is clean now. I'm going to let it have it with this thing where I'll blow it out between the links. That's very important. Get in here and blow it out. And to test it, you sniff it to make sure it's okay. Okay, now clean your hands, because we're still going to have the gloves on. I don't want that goop all over my hands. So I'll clean this, come here. So that's done. This is here. This is here. This is here. Come over. Paper towel. No damage to it. Back downstairs we go. Okay, so we have now repaired the band to where it's smooth. And now we start working on other problems to deal with. There's a lot to do. Probably more than I think most people would say is fun. Okay, here's that's the top of the watch and that's the bottom. Okay, and I'm gonna clean this off because it of course is going to have a lot of stuff that was ground off that watch. So we'll come here now and see how I'm going to put this on. I believe that this would be the top of the watch up here like this, and that would be the bottom. Yep, because I can read SKMEI here, so you would put it on the watch. Basically, I believe I wouldn't read it upside down. I would read it that way, and in order to read it this way, it has to go on this way. Okay. So we're ready to put this together. I'm going to wear safety glasses because I'm going to be putting pins in. Pins, tools, put in the band, slide the pin in here, lock it to this position, and lean this up in this sector. You can see I have trouble. I'm going to damage this watch if I don't get better tape on here. So I hate to admit it, but at best, putting in these pins manually is a difficult job. I've done it a lot of times. It's not that I don't know how to do it. It's just that it's very difficult to apply the right pressures. I did have to get a new pair of gloves. The other one's tore. That's very typical, because you'll burn through 1 or 2 or 3 pairs of gloves on a job like this. But at least I know these are clean. Okay, the trick is you have to put the pin in, you know, and again, I want to make sure I'm doing this properly. This is going to go here like this, and then that's going to go like that. So it'll be like this, or how does that go? I guess I think you want it like this, where you can read it in that manner, top to bottom. So what makes this tricky is you have to put the pin in, okay? You have to get the one side of the pin down into this hole, okay? And this is the tough one, because you have to maneuver this in such a way that it goes into that hole, so I can come down, apply push pressure, come to here. Now try and move it around until it actually locks. And that is on. Okay. Then I'm going to come down here and put this one on. So basically this is how this is going to go. Okay, now we got to put the other side in. Same problem. Now I'm going to open this up because I think I can make it a little easier for myself to work from the underside if I can. I'm going to come in here. I am locked there, and then I come here, and then yep, got it. Okay, so at this point now we have the watch band on the watch, and we have the inside edge ground, and now we have to size this thing, and this is going to be a fun task. The problem with these is this and like this. Okay, so the question is, how much needs to come off? You can tell that the C-clamp is too far this way right now. And so I think if I take one link out over here, that'll be enough. So I open this up like this, and one of these has to go. Now, they give you arrows here in the metal from the top going down, and what that means is remove the pin, which is this teeny little round rod, down, not up. That's why it's marked that way. So the next thing to do now, we know we have to drive the pin out that way. We're taking out one link, but before I put this in the vise, and I'm going to put it in a vise, I'm going to protect the watch band from the vise with a little bit of tape. Probably unnecessary. This vise is not one that would typically cause a problem, but I'm just saying I would be careful. Now we come over here to the vise. I'm going to put the watch band in like this. I never said this job was easy. I never said it was pleasant. I never said it was fun. It's not any of those things. It's very difficult. Okay. Now I have to pound out one of these things, and I'm going to take this one out. Pretty simple, huh? If you have the right tools, it's not too bad. Then I come out and you can see, and that's why it comes that way, because it's got the crimper at the bottom. Now I'm going to remove these pieces of tape. And I'm going to come here and try to pull this pin out. Got it? Now, I have to take another pin out. No problem. Come here, and here, and like that. Come in here. Now you can do it without a vise. I've done it many times without a vise. It's just a lot easier with the vise. You might say, gee, that doesn't look so bad. You're right. Now let's see if I've got the camera at the right angle for you to see what I'm doing. I think so. Yeah, pretty much where the watch band is. Yeah. Okay, now I have to remove one link. I use this because they don't come out because you talk with them sweetly. We take that out, bring this around. I would say this. Now if it went out that way, it goes back in the opposite, right? So we know that we want to feed this thing in with the crimper, which is at the back end, locking in like this. Probably I should have left it in there. Huh? I think so. Probably should have.
I'm just trying to work it in. Okay. I'm going to come to here. And you want to make sure you have those things correct. And then I can come here and kind of work it in. Now, the smart thing to do, by the way, I just put the watch together backwards, so that won't work. I have to take it out and do it like this. Huh. Okay, and then I know that I'm coming from the right here. So I just got my orientation screwed up a little bit, and you have to be careful that these pieces here are not backwards, but are in properly too. Okay, that goes like this, and I know that I'm coming from this direction. Yes, I am coming from this direction. And this goes like this. Okay. They kind of go in pretty easy to slide in like this. Okay. Let me come out a little bit more. You're probably going, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There is no way I'm going to do this job on my own. But you can. That's why I'm showing you how to do it. Okay, now, this is a good moment to see if you have to take out, you know, more pieces or not. So I can take it and put it on my wrist and take and like this, and just to see, is it gonna fit? Now, in this instance, I believe I can make it fit because it's fairly close to a correct fit right now. And I think with the micro adjusters on the dots here, I can pick up the slack. I do. So I can just take this. The other end of this tool is for this. I'll move it one position like that. You just push down, and that gives you the ability to move the micro adjuster like that. These are just pins, by the way, same as the other pins. This is how those work. You come and you can kind of tell when you're close because, okay, now this is still a little bit too loose, and I'm down now to one more micro adjuster, which is certainly not what I would call, you know, real easy. I mean, not for sure. It may work and it may not. I may have to take out another one, but I want to know that now, see? And I go here and go here. Now, this is still too loose. So even with full micro adjuster in place, okay, I'm still not in a good position. And I would say further that it is my opinion that this band should be switched. In other words, it should be twirled around the other way. I don't think this is how I wanted to read it. I think I've got it on backwards. So now I have to go back and pull the band off and do it again. And hopefully I can get in here and do this without too much trouble. Okay. This can be difficult. You oftentimes will need, you won't be able to get in here with this tool because this gap is too small. A lot of times you have to go get another screwdriver that's a lot smaller. And that's my case here. So this tool, as small as it is not small enough to get in here to open this sucker up again. So I have to go get another tool that's a smaller screwdriver. Okay, now go back to this nasty ass project. I'm trying to get the pins off to get this off the watch, and I need a smaller screwdriver to fit in here through this teeny little gap they give me in the back here. So I just come in. It's a very small screwdriver, but it will do the job quickly. So that's that. You want to take the pins out because they're apt to get lost. And we come here. Now this little screwdriver can fit in here with no problem. Okay, and now this is going to go on like this. And so we're back to this little operation. But you'll notice I haven't closed up the band yet. So I lock the one side. Come here. Try to get like that. That's like that. Okay. Come in like this. Same procedure. Lock on one side. Lay it on the top here. Come in with the tool. Press down on the locker. I'm in. Okay, now if I go all the way out again on the micro adjusters, I can hear that the watch is resetting because I'm hitting the edges. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want it out of the unit because I'm really having trouble getting this into these things. Can be hard too. And I wanted to avoid that problem, but I didn't. So I'm having to go here. And then this is just kind of the same issue. You have to lock it into one hole and then try and get it into the other. This is actually harder to fit than the band. Ouch! This was what I wanted to avoid. I didn't want to be struggling with this particular fit, which is this into this. And let's see if I can have any luck. Let's come in on a long end and see if I can do it this way. No, see, it popped out the other side now. That one popped out. This can go on for 10 minutes. You know, and they don't stay in position, as you can see. You have to lock it on one side, like this. Then sometimes you can use your fingernail and come in. But not this time. So I'll come in with this tiny screwdriver now and see, can I get a better... Okay, I've got it in here now. Let's see if I can get it into the hole. Okay, I did get it. That is the hardest operation that I do on watches, is fitting this thing into that. In other words, to get this into here is very tough. Okay, now we go here and let's see what our situation is. But we still have to take out one more. We still have to take one more of these links out. I think that's what we have to do on this side. Now, where does it need to come from? I think it's going to have to come from this side, but the problem is, see, if you straddle that perfectly, then the watch goes high. So to bring it low, it has to come out of this side here again. So what we do is we bring this out and we pound out a second link. Now, I suppose I could make a video and I could make it look easy by editing, but I don't want to make it look easy. I want you to see what a royal pain in the ass working with these things is. Now, which way do those come out? They come down that way. It's very important to keep that part of it correct. Fortunately, tightening in with the vise does not really make it hard to get the pins out. You're not squeezing it that hard. That's pretty easy. I mean, in my book, I'd say that's pretty simple to do. Now, I bring these here like this. Give you a better close-up now. A little bit more close-up. Okay, and we're taking pins out, don't forget. So I'm going to come here and pull that one out. There's your extra link. We come around here. Again, you want to make sure that the shiny part of this little one here is out, not in. Otherwise you'll see a line on it. It won't be on the right place. And that is easy to do. Now we come here and we know that the pin goes in like this. You want to kind of get them started until they're just ready to peep out. Like that. Then when you come here, And you go here, you can take it and tack it gently into position. I don't know why the pin's not going in easily. It's not. There we go. Okay. Now when it's properly aligned, it should go in easily. When it's properly aligned. That is close to the end of our little game. Let's take a look and see what our fit is now. That is very close to a proper fit. I do want to take a look and make sure that that C-clamp is centered on the wrist. It is for a centering of the watch. Now, it's going to need a half, 1 micro adjuster in, which is not a big deal, and this is where I want to be very careful that I don't drop it out of the unit like I did last time. Come over here very carefully and make sure I get lined up. There we go. Come in here. There we go. Okay, now let's take a look here. 452. That's interesting. Yeah, it says 452. It's kind of interesting. It's not 452. It must be some other time. Anyway, a correctly done band will be kind of snug when you try and get it on. And that's it. It's got a little teeny bit of give. The center clasp is centered on the wrist. It's here. And I'll have you get a little close-up now of what this looks like. Okay. It's smooth and comfortable to the wrist all the way around. It's absolutely correct length. It's on here. Looking good. Okay, now I'm going to summarize the process. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is, I hate to say it, but I think this clasp does not feel as comfortable to my wrist as I might like. And that's because this little part here is still just a little bit sharp. And in other words, that's making it a little bit uncomfortable, that sharp edge right on that band there. I'm going to have to fix that right now. And in order to fix it, I'm going to have to grind some of that edge away. Well, that's the way it goes. You know, I mean, if you want to do the job right, you're going to do the job right. This is not a problem. The upper unit here is not the problem. The problem instead is the underside of this. Well, it's a two-stage process, right? We know that. Now I do have on safety glasses, so I'm going to put on the gloves again. I'm coming here. Got my gloves on again. And I'm going to put the jacket on again because I'm going to be grinding. Now, part of the process of being a good workman is to go back and study your work and make sure that you did it right. And, you know, you don't want to do that because you're tired of working on the project, you know, but you got to. It's part of the process, and you don't want to get too freaked out about it or get your nuts in a twizzle. You just want to do what you have to do the job right. So I'm going to get on here now, and I'm going to grind that. 2 steps. One is with the grinder, you know, and then the other one's going to be with the polisher. So we're right back to this operation again. But I didn't come this far to have this thing uncomfortable, I'll tell you that. This metal is not as robust as the other was. I do have some extra parts here, don't I? I sure do. Okay. Here we go. And just to make sure, I am removing material from this sector right here. I'm going to catch that clasp on the edge too. Get that one a little bit too. Come over on the other side. Get it as well. Back to the other side. I think I can take a little bit more off. Okay. Much easier, huh? A lot less work this time. I get back to my grinder. I'm not going to push fresh grinding shit on it though. I don't want to deal with a mess. I just want to grind it out a little bit. Okay, now which is which? This one. Right there. No big deal. Perfect. Now it's comfortable everywhere. Okay. Closing comments. I told you this was a pain in the ass. And it is. But you have to set up the under positioning here so it's in the center. Otherwise, it'll like push the watch one way or the other. So this has to be centered, and it has to be the right length. There's a lot of things that that get balanced out. And but when you're all done, it's a beautiful watch, and it fits great, and it's comfy to the hand. Like really expensive watches, they polish them everywhere. So handwork, hand craftsmanship is a large part of the difference between an expensive watch and an inexpensive watch, which is why you can take an inexpensive watch like this and really turn it into a magnificent watch if you work on it. I don't know what the value of that craftsmanship would be, $50, maybe $80, I don't know. But the bottom line is I got a perfectly fitting, comfortable watch. I hope you've enjoyed this. I would say this is one of my favorite watches. I wear it an awful lot. I had it with the leather band. I just want to try it with the steel band for a while because I'm partial to the look. I think it's cool. See you.